Hey guys, welcome back. So with this video, we'll start the next important topic, that is binary heap. So let's get started. So the first question is, what is a binary heap? So a binary heap is basically a binary tree, but with some special properties. Now what do we mean when we say binary tree? Remember that in a binary tree, the property is that each node of a binary tree has either 0, 1 or 2 children, nothing more or nothing less than that. So automatically binary heap also takes the same property, that is, in binary heap any given node can have either 0, 1 or 2 children, nothing more, nothing less than that. But in case of binary heap, there are some additional properties which are there. So which are those properties? Let's see. So the first property of binary heap is heap property. Now what is a heap property? So heap property basically says that value of any given node must be less than or is equal to value of its children. We call it as mean heap property. Similarly, value of any given node must be greater than is equal to value of its children, then we call it as max heap. So what does that means is, we take any node in a heap, and if the value of that node's children is more than or is equal to its parent node, then we call it as max heap. So this is the first property of a binary heap. The second property of binary heap is, it is a complete tree. Now what do we mean when we say complete tree? It means all levels are completely filled except possibly the last level, and the last level has all keys as left as possible. So let's say this is our binary heap, and what we see here is that all the levels are completely filled. So this level 1 is completely filled, level 2 is again completely filled, level 3 is again all filled. The last level, which is level 4, we see that it is not completely filled. We still have some space left over here. But we see that the last level, though it is not completely filled, but one observation is that the filled nodes are always to extreme left, and because of that it becomes an ideal candidate for an array implementation. Why is that? Because in an array we typically want that the maximum number of nodes or the cells of the array gets filled. We don't want the array to be empty, and since this is a complete tree, it will ensure that most of the array will be filled. So it is an ideal candidate for a array implementation. So what we have learned here is that a binary heap is a binary tree, that is, it carries the property of a binary tree, that each node is either having 0, 1 or 2 children. Apart from that, there is one more property, that is heap property, which says if a value of any given node should be less than value of its children. In that case, we call it as mean heap property. So this binary heap over here is a mean heap. We see that 5, which is a parent of 14 and 23, is less. 14 is less than 20, 16. 20 is less than 53, 66. 23 is less than 42, 62. So we can call that this tree over here is a mean heap tree. Now the second property was complete tree, that is, each level is filled except the last level, and at the last level the nodes are towards extreme left. So I hope you have understood what is a binary heap. Now let's move to the next important question, that why should we need to learn a binary heap? So let's see that now. So let's say we have a problem, and the problem is that we want to find minimum or maximum number among set of numbers in log n time. Also, we need to make sure that inserting additional numbers does not take more than log n time. So we are trying to find minimum or maximum number in log n time, and we also want to make sure that inserting any additional number does not impact this time complexity. So now the question is, what are the solutions we have to solve this problem? So the first solution is a simple array based solution. So we can take an array, store all the numbers, sort the array, and then we can simply find what is the minimum number in this array. So in this case, if we see, the first cell will always carry the minimum number, which is 10. So we see that this can be achieved in order of 1 time, which is even better than the log n time. But there is a small problem here, and the problem is, let's say we want to insert few more numbers. Let's say I am inserting number 5. So the question now is, where are we going to insert this number 5? Since this array is a sorted one, we cannot simply put the number 5 anywhere in the blank space. We have to make sure that it follows the sorted array property. So in this case, we have to insert 5 over here before 10. Now let's say we want to insert 35 in this array. So what we have to do? So we have to start from the first cell, keep going towards right until we find the appropriate place. So in this case, the appropriate place for 35 is here. So we insert it here. And why is that? Because we want to maintain the array to be sorted. So you see that the problem here is that every time we want to insert any new number, we have to start from the first cell, keep going towards right until we reach either the last cell or any appropriate cell. So in the worst case, this is gonna take order of n time. So every insertion is taking order of n time, which we don't want. Remember, we said that we want the complexity of order log n. So this is the problem with array, and that's what the note is also saying here, that once we insert a new number, our array needs to be adjusted to keep it sorted, which will take order of n time. So now the option of sorted array is ruled out. Now do we have any other option? Yes. How about a linked list? So if we store the number in a linked list in a sorted manner, this is how the linked list will look like. But again, we have the same problem as an array. That is, if we want to insert any more number in this list, we again have to start from the first node, keep going towards last until we reach the right node where we need to insert the number. So let's say we want to insert 45, then we have to start from node 1, keep going towards right until we reach this node, and we insert 45 over here. So clearly we see that here also this entire operation is taking order of n time, which is way more than the desired log n time. So what we can do? So this is where the binary heap comes in picture. So with the use of a binary heap, we can find out minimum or maximum number from the set of numbers in log n time, which anyways we were able to get it from here. But the power of binary heap is when we want to insert additional numbers. In that case, we already saw that array as well as linked list, both of them failed because both of them were giving order of n complexity, whereas binary heap guarantees us that it can do that in order of log n time. So now I hope you have understood why do we need to learn binary heap. So now you might be wondering that is there any real world application where we need to use a binary heap or this kind of a problem might arise? Yes, there are problems. So few of the problems over here are, one is Prim's algorithm, which we are going to see when we learn graph. Then there is a problem called heap sort, and then there is one more problem called as priority queue. So in all of these algorithms, binary heap is the heart of all these three problems. So if we don't learn binary heap, all these three problems will not be able to solve. So basically, these are the three problems where binary heap is used. Now before diving deep into binary heap, let's see what are the types of binary heap that we have. So basically, there are two types of binary heap. One is min heap and the other one is max heap. Now what is a min heap? So in a min heap, the binary heap guarantees that value of each node is less than or equals to value of both of its children. So if we see this binary heap, this is a min heap because the parent's value is always less than its children. Now please pay close attention to the word each. That is, we need to make sure that each and every node should follow this property of min heap. If there is at least one node which does not follow this property, then we cannot call that as min heap. Now coming to the next type of heap, that is max heap. Max heap is exactly opposite of min heap. That is, the value of parent node must be more than or equals to value of its children. So here we see that 85 is more than 84 and 23, 84 is more than 20 and 66, 20 is more than 5 and 6, 23 is more than 8 and 6. So we can say that this is a max heap. So again, there is a word each, please pay close attention to it, that each of the nodes should follow this property. If any of the node does not follow this property of max heap, we cannot call it as max heap. So I hope you have understood what is a binary heap, why do we need to learn it, and what are the types of binary heap. Now in the next video, let's learn what are the common operations that can be performed on a binary heap. So let's do that in the next video. Thanks for your time. See you in the next video.